I am here to talk about shame, but first, I want to go back. An exposed brick wall, eventually. I guess we can all read the definition of shame first, really sink in. An exposed brick wall. So this was the first thing I saw that day when I woke up, realized I was naked, realized that there were two men next to me, and realized that I had no idea what had happened. I would not come to utter the words, "I was a victim of sexual assault," until over 10 years later, because of the shame that had built in me. And in response, I did nothing. I didn't seek out medication or testing or counseling because I felt ashamed and thought I didn't deserve it. Looking back on that time is humbling, since it means looking at a woman who thought she was far too informed and progressive to ever trade her empowerment for shame. But shame is not so picky, and our culture continues to bet on women remaining blanketed in the shame that has, through whatever circumstances, taken a hold of them. Simply put, we live in a world that is uncomfortable with women distancing themselves from their shame. When I was asked to speak here tonight, I hesitated because I thought I didn't have the authority to speak about the fight for reproductive justice because my work isn't really about that. Oh, right. Well, then I thought to myself, how am I going to talk about everything in 140 seconds? How am I going to talk about adolescent girls who are told they're disgusting because they're on their periods? How am I going to talk about being forever uncomfortable to ever set my drink down on stage at the launch pad again? About the teenage girl who literally has no access to a safe abortion after being raped? About Hillary being told to smile more? And about all the other ways, subtly and not so much, women are reminded of our culture's acceptance of misogyny. Because that misogyny intends to fuel the shame in women. And it's at the root of the injustices we face every day. We were going to go back to that wall, but we already went back to that wall. That wall became a sort of toxic guidepost of shame. Every moment that I would begin to feel empowered, I'd remember what I saw when I woke up that day. Every time I felt like maybe I had shed some of the pain and the fear, I'd remember what I saw when I woke up that day. But eventually, I was able to say, that's enough. This shame isn't mine to carry because I didn't do this. And my guidepost shifted. At the core of the fight for reproductive justice is a struggle against the pressure to accept shame as our guidepost. And we have to remember that every act of claiming agency and access or standing up in the face of misogyny has the potential to shift our collective guidepost permanently. Thank you.